my loves, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're seeing this gorgeous girl, please don't make it your last by clicking on the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so you get notified whenever I post a video. But if this isn't the first time you're seeing me, hey love, welcome back. Compliments of the season, guys. The holiday season is upon us and this year is almost over. Basically during this time of the year, people always just swing it. I myself in particular, way before now, I know by this time sometimes I don't really know what date it is. But right now I'm becoming more self-aware, being more self-conscious, and I've decided on 7 things that I would do for myself before the end of this year to put my life together, to get done with this year so I can move to the next year. And I decided to share it with you guys so we could do them together. Disclaimer, I'm not a life coach, neither do I say without doing these things, you're not going to have an awesome next year. But these are stuff that I've done my research on, and I've discovered that if I actually do them, I'm going to have an awesome next year. So the first thing I'm going to be doing before the end of this year is getting a me time, or you can call it taking a solo retreat. I know during this time of the year, everybody is thinking about going on a vacation, a staycation, and all of that. But I'm not really talking about that here. The me time I'm talking about is a time that you take away for yourself, by yourself. It could be taking a 3 days retreat, it could be a 1 week, it could be 7 days, whatever you decide. But I would suggest that before you take this time away, you should do a schedule of what it's going to be about. Or you should probably plan it. You would want to know what are my mornings going to be like, what's my afternoon going to be like, what's the night going to be like, so you don't go on this retreat without actualizing what you want to do, because it's not really going to be funny for you to do all of that and then you come back the same way. During this time, you would want to realign with yourself. You need to take this time away to regroup. In the excitement of the holiday, don't miss out an opportunity for you to put yourself together before the close of the year. So I would highly recommend you take a couple of days away. And very importantly, I would want to note that this couple of days away you should take it out of social media. You don't need to be on social media because you wouldn't want to be influenced by the things that you would be seeing on social media. So you take 3 days, 4 days away for yourself, by yourself, just like Beyonce said, me, myself, and I. You need to get in line, girl. Check up with your routine, check up with your life, check up with a whole lot of things before you can say that you are actually done with this year and you want to move on to the next year. So that's the first thing I'm going to be doing before the end of this year. The second thing I'm going to be doing before the end of this year is getting a gratitude list. Before the end of this year, I want to write down things I'm most grateful for. This year has really been long and a whole lot of things have happened. And if you don't take stock of things, you might not really know what you should be grateful for. So I would want to take a pen, a notepad, it could be on your phone, it could be on your laptop, but I think it's actually going to be nice for you to acknowledge the things that you are most grateful for from the start of this year till the end of this year. So you just write down the things that you are most grateful for. And these things will actually spice up this period of the year, so you're more grateful with the year and you can decide to move on to the next year mentally, emotionally, and otherwise. The third thing I'm going to be doing before the end of this year is taking stock of my achievements this year. And when I'm talking about my achievements, I'm not just talking about big achievements like getting a new job, getting married, having a baby, and all of that. And yes, I'm very much cool and I really want to celebrate those big achievements. But guys, I don't think we celebrate ourselves enough, because you shouldn't just celebrate your big wins. You should also celebrate your small wins. So your achievements could actually be the fact that you were able to keep up with your routine this year. You were able to exercise this year. You were able to pay bills on time. It could actually be the fact that you were able to grow from something that you've been wanting to grow from. It could be a whole lot of things to you. It could be something different, it could be something small, but it is something that you've actually achieved this year. And it's really going to be awesome for you to take stock of that, because when you celebrate your small wins, it will prepare you for bigger wins. Definitely, I'm going to take stock of all the achievements I have this year because I did it. So why not celebrate it? The fourth thing I'm going to be doing before the end of this year that I suggest that you take the journey with me is declustering and putting on some home improvements. Psychology actually says that cluster can lead to poor mental health, unhealthy eating, and generally to a low quality of life, which is what you don't want for the new year. So I know during this year we must have gotten some stuffs that we don't really need right now. I would want to take the time out to decluster. You can clear up your wardrobe, clear up your space, tidy things up, take out things that you don't need anymore, create space, create room, because I feel like your environment actually plays a very good role, a very big role in how you function. I personally, as a content creator, if my environment is okay, if my environment is cool, it's going to propel me to do better. It's going to make me want to show up more and put myself out there. And then for the home improvements, it doesn't really have to mean that you have to go ahead and start buying new furnitures and all of that. It could be some movement. You could switch things up, move the bed, move the wardrobe, move something. Buy some little things to spice up your space, to make it more favorable, to make you more happy in that environment. So why not do that? I highly recommend that you decluster your wardrobe, you decluster your house, your living room, and you spice up your space, because you love yourself and your space is for you, girl. So why not? Guys, my next point is really very important, because without it, I can't say your next year is going to be fun. I can't say your next year is going to be okay. My next point is putting my finance in order. So we've come to almost the end of the year, and at this point, I think you should take out time to take stock of your finance. You need to know, how is my finance doing? How is the saving pot doing? My streams of income, what is working for me? What isn't working for me? How do I streamline my income and all of that? So at this point of the year, I will take out time to check with my finance, check on things that I've been spending on, check on things that how I can manage my finances better, things I don't really need to spend on, things I have to invest in, and all of that. So during this time, I will check with my finances and make sure I put everything in order. And I highly recommend you do that, because we need to take our finances more seriously. We need to actually read books, check out podcasts on these things, because you really need to get your finances in check. Guys, the sixth thing I'm going to be doing before the end of this year to put my life together so I can say bye-bye to this year and move on to the next year is setting out goals for next year. Yes, they said if you don't plan, you plan to fail. I really don't want to fail next year. So during this time, I'm going to be setting out goals that I want to achieve next year. And I'm not just going to be setting out goals that I want to achieve next year. I'm also going to be putting out actions that I intend to take for me to actualize my goals for next year. Because having big goals, having big dreams doesn't really cut it if you don't put actions that you're going to take for you to, end up achieving those goals that you want to achieve. So I'm going to take out time to write down the goals that I want to achieve next year, the woman I want to be next year, where I want to prosper next year. And these goals doesn't really just have to be with my finances. It has to do with other parts of myself, my self-care, my routine, things I want to be working on, how I will want to be by next year. So I'll set out those goals, and then I'll streamline my actions that I want to take for me to actually actualize the goals for next year. Set your goals. You really want to do better next year. I know this year has really been awesome for me. There are a lot of things that I set out to achieve this year that I did. but next year is going to be greater. Next year is going to be better. So I'm starting off from this moment to plan it out for myself, to set those goals so that next year doesn't just meet me unaware. I have an entire year ahead of me, which I really have to plan for. And I suggest that you do the same. Set your goals, girl. The last thing I'm going to be doing to put my life together before the end of this year, to prepare myself to the next year, to be sure that I'm gonna have an amazing next year, is attending some in-person events. Guys, these points cannot be overly emphasized. The year is almost over. It doesn't mean that I need to stay at home and just sit down and wait for the next year. If I sit at home, what's going to happen? Do I know what opportunity is waiting for me out there? My next opportunity can be there waiting for me, and I have goals to achieve. Therefore, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to attend events because I don't know what's waiting for me, and I suggest that you do the same. Don't just stay in your house during this period, just waiting for the next year to come. But put yourself out there. It doesn't have to be that you have to attend everything that is happening, but just, use your discretion here. Go out there, meet people, talk to people, socialize, get new friends that would motivate you, friends that get more people, better people in your circle, people that will motivate you to do better next year. So guys, that's what I'm going to be doing next year. These are the 7 things I'm going to be doing before the end of this year. And I really hope that you enjoyed all the points, or 1 or 2 points that I've stated here. I've let you in on all the things that I'm going to be doing before the end of this year to put my life together. What are your thoughts? What are your ideas? Do you have other things that you think I need to look into before the end of this year? If you do, I'll be checking at the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your post notification so we can keep having fun on this channel.